Hello, pottery friends. You asked for it. You wanted Santa Gnomes. So here they are. Let's make some. I will start with making the basic shape on the wheel and then decorate them. It's a bit of a long video, but hey, that's how I make them. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the wheel in a sec. Here we go. This is just, I don't know. I didn't weigh this. I just thought I can get a few of these cute little gnomies out of this ball. It's Reclaim, and I work with Laguna 309 and 310, which is essentially the same clay, but one of them has grog in it. And it might be a bit short because I haven't left it long enough as a slab. So we'll see how it goes. So that's the first disclaimer for you. I'm going to center this on the wheel. If you're throwing off the hump, you do not have to center your entire ball of clay. But because this isn't that very big, I will. And because it's Reclaim, it's a bit softer, so it's fairly easy for me to center. But again, for off the hump, no need to. You only need to center the part which you are going to use. So that's what I'll do. I'm still at the top speed, and I'm cupping my hands around the top part, guesstimating how much I need, and I'm making a little doorknob. Now you can see this is pretty centered. This is not quite centered, so don't worry about that. Just center the top part. And I'm going to go into the center, first finding it, and then I'm going into the center. And then I'm going to open it up against my hand. So I'm going to put my fingers in and open it up across what there, somewhere there is my bottom. And they won't have a bottom, so it's not that important. And I'm just going across against my hand, and then making sure that with sliding my right hand up that it doesn't go too wide. It's now off center, but that's fine. For these little Santas, I can always recenter it. So now I have a little sort of kind of cup here going on. What I will do then is I put my finger across what now is the bottom or the top of this part, and my other finger under there, make the groove a little bit bigger so I know where I will have to cut later. I will slow down more, and I will, oh, that's too slow. With a bit of water, I will first pull up to make a sort of kind of even thickness of a wall, and I make sure the top part does not go wide, because it's more difficult to get it to close it in later if you do. Again, I'm going up, just a cylinder. I think I have an air bubble. We'll see in a second. Now that my wall is reasonably, fairly thinned out, I'm going to shape it a bit. With a bit of water, going outward and inward. You can see it starts to wobble because I have just popped that air bubble. Oh no, it's still there. Or there's something in there. It is Reclaim. This always happens when you're filming. Okay, round, a little bit round, and then up and in. So I want this a bit more up there. while I still can, I will take the water out. If there's some water left in there, it's not a huge problem because they won't have a bottom. But you know, taking the water out of your pots, make it something you do automatically, because if you forget it with a beautiful vase, you're in big doo-doo. Ask me how I know that. I'm going to take this very thin part off where that bubble is or was. You need a little bit of clay if you want to cone things in. There we go. So there is the basic shape. And now I'm going to color this in. You can do this with your whole hands. You can do this with 6 points of contact, you know. I will come like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Color it in. Watch the shape. Now I have water in there, but I will show you later how I take care of that. That's very easy. And I will close it in. I will turn so you can see a little bit better. I will just close this top. Sometimes a little bit comes off. That's it. I like making closed forms. This is also how I make my bird feeders, but you know, bigger. I will take a rib and the round side, take off all that slip, and if I want to, reshape it a little bit because of the resistance of the air inside. I will keep this pointy bit, and I will probably fuss with it later because that will be the tip of its hat. I do this for the reshaping, but also to get the slip off so I can take it off. What I will do now, take a wooden, well, I take a wooden tool and I make a ridge like that. Stop the wheel, clean my hands, and I'm going to have to get myself something to put this ladder on. I have some old wooden, look, they're all, well, they're horrible, but you know, I put a piece of paper on it, and that's how I take these off the wheel. I hope the wind won't blow away my piece of newspaper. Let me put it here so you can see what I'm doing. Stay. Now, I will take my wire, put it in there, and then cross the ends and pull. I'm going to work on the bottom anyway, so it doesn't matter what it looks like. And now, because I do not have any slip on there, I can easily take it off. This one still has clay there. That will be taken out later. So if there's water in there, it will come out. Put this away. And on to the next one. High speed. Center only the top part. It's just a sort of coning up and down a little bit, making a knob. That's now fairly good centered. Find my center point, go in, open it up, and make sure it doesn't go too wide. I'm feeling something in there. You know, my reclaim is in the bucket, and the lid of the bucket broke. So I now have just, you know, a piece of wood on top, but it sometimes slides off. So I don't know what I find in my reclaim sometimes. Yep, slow down, find the bottom. My fingers are like that, on the inside, on the outside. Make that ridge, and then I will pull this up. It's getting too dry on me. Another pull. Don't make it go wide on the top and not too thin. Another pull with a little bit of shaping. Oh, this is going to be a very small one. That's not good. I took too little, not enough clay. But there we go. Then coloring in. First wet it and then color it in. See these ripples? That happens either when there's something in your clay or an air bubble, or when it's too thin. If you have enough clay there, it doesn't happen that often. I take it out, because if you keep coloring in all those ripples, you will get ripples there. I already have a little bit. Because of the movement, it will translate to there, in my experience. Okay, let's see. Closing it up. If you don't have enough clay there to close it up, and you don't want to thin this out anymore, I saw a video by, let me think, Robert Briggs from Corvus Moon Pottery. He makes beautiful raku cremation urns, and he does it like this. Takes his knuckle and just pushes in and in and in, and very slowly. Et voila. Closed in this one. I'm not sure if this one's going to make it. I think it's a bit small, but for now, okay. Taking off that slip. Taking off the slip with my little rip. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's awful. Making the ridge, cleaning my hands, clean my wire, put it in there, cross and pull, and I don't have something to put it on. Good organizing. There we go. And set it aside. Let's do one more, okay? See if I can get it a little bit bigger, which means I have to make a bigger knob. So center the top part. Make a little knob. Oh, this one's going to be big. Go across and keeping it in with my right hand. It gets dry very fast, also because it's a reclaim. That's why it goes a little off center. But we do not worry about that. That's already there. If you make the knob first, you already have that, so you know where to cut it off. slower. Let's make that an even wall and let it not go wide. Let's thin it out a bit. And then I'm going to shape it. Now my bottom is here. Okay. Let's take this one. Wet the outside. And again. Squeezing, squeezing. Now it is irregular, but doesn't have ripples now because I've left more clay there. Take that off just because it bugs me. Don't really have to. I'm OCD like that. And again, wet it. Shape it as long as your finger still fits. Wet it. And close it in. Or use your knuckle and very slowly et voila. They always come out different. Now I don't intend to make them the same, so that's a nice pointy part to fold over later. Let's take the slip off. And it's so easy when you have a mirror. If you're sitting down at your wheel, or even if you're standing, you have to go to bend over to look at the shape. I have my mirror over there. I do not have to bend over to the left or the right. I don't have to get up from my stool or whatever I'm sitting on. I can just step away and look at it. Saves me a lot of back trouble. I have no back trouble whatsoever, I have to say, since I'm standing at my wheel. Clean my hands. Oh, and a little thingy with some paper. There we go. This goes there. In that ridge. Pull. And lift off. There we go. Now these have to stiffen up a bit, and then I'll get back to you for the next step. See you soon. Oh, it's the next day. I put them all in my drying. I'm pointing, you can't see. I have an old refrigerator, doesn't work, it's not connected, but the refrigerator with the rubbers seals very well, so I use that as a damp box. so I can slowly dry my pieces. Sometimes it's so hot here that they dry too fast. I put them in there yesterday and they're fairly soft. So I'm going to be working on this one, and I will take you with me in that process. So I will change the camera angle and get to work with this one. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. I will do my best to stay in frame. I have noticed in some of my videos that I sometimes go off. So this is, let's transform this one into this bulb into a Santa gnome. The first thing I'm going to do is take care of the bottom. As it happens, when I cut this one off the hump, I still have a bottom. Sometimes I don't. It depends on where you cut it off. Put this aside. And I'm just going to cut out all this extra clay. Have to be careful, it's still fairly soft. Having an old refrigerator and a spray bottle with water really helps keeping your pieces from drying out. There we go. I will clean all that up. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. It's just a waste of clay. Makes it heavy. Oh, excuse me. That makes it heavy. And we don't want that. Well, I don't want that. And it helps the rest of the drying. Now, sometimes when you close in a form like this, it can crack right there on the inside. What I do is take a little bit of fresh clay. This is still soft, so I can use that. Make a little ball. If it's soft enough on the inside, yes it is. You can just, drop it in there. I don't know, can you see it in there? And I will take a tool like this and put it in there. Just to make sure I won't have a crack. And I'm going to put some wire in there for hanging, so I have a little bit more clay for the wire to stick in. The bottom is still not what I want, and it's still very thick. And I need to get rid of this. Yeah, I'm doing some more cleanup here. Oh. I want to do something with that. Let's get me some water. Because of course this part has dried a little bit. I'm wetting my fingers. And I'm going to hopefully curl it a little bit. There we go. Just a tiny little curl on top of his hat. Oh, see, there I went again. So I'm using this, which is very soft. I am going to put on his nose first. And I decide as I go. Everyone is different. All of them are individual. Let's see. I guess that's a bit too big. Take some off. No. maybe. I will first make a sort of a ball, and then I am making a cone. And then I will tap this. Can you see what I'm doing? No, I'll do it here. Hope it doesn't stick. Tap this flat on one side, on the long side, and then on the thickest part on the bottom, which gives you sort of a elongated triangle. Now it's too thick, I think. Not that much, but a little bit. So this is the triangle, and this is where I'm going to, this is the piece that's going to attach. It's a bit, sticks out a bit too much, so I'm cutting off a piece of the back side. Yep, that's better. Put some slip on here, and then decide where I want it. I want this to be visible, so this will be the front. Where is it going? Somewhere there. And now if I take this off, oh, it's already sticking. I can see exactly where I want to score. Slip. I have my fingers on the inside and wiggle this around a bit until you can feel it catches. It does. I will take a tool and blend it in. And this is going to be, this is a little bit too much for my liking, so I'm going to push it down and it will come off. And now I have this nice little bridge of the nose where I can put the brim of his hat on. I'm going to clean up the little bit of the scratching that I did here. Makeup sponge works perfect. Don't gouge it with your fingernail. I hardly have fingernails. You can tell it's getting rough when I use the sponge. That's because it has grog. I'll push that back in a bit. Now, the nose is not done yet. I'm going to create his nostrils. Right here, on the bottom. Can you see what I'm doing? I hope so. This is a rubber tipped tool. I like to use it for this. I think you can use, I guess you could use a pencil as well. I'm sticking it in there. and pushing it out upwards and sidewards. And then on the other side as well, upwards and sidewards. There you go. Now he has nostrils a little bit. Now I need a little brush, just some water to get these cracks out of the way. This cracks a little bit faster because it is reclaim and it is a little bit too fresh actually. But again, impatient. So there's the nose. Now I'm going to make the brim of his hat. I'm just going to roll out a coil. This is long enough, but too thick, so I can take some off. I need a little bit more room. Up. Let's measure. Yep, long enough. It's cracking a bit on me. That's better. I will put it on there. This is just to establish where I want to slip and score. I want you to go down a little bit more, like that. And I'll take, I don't know, a skewer or something pointy and draw my line. And this way I know that I have to score up until that line. There's my scoring tool. Hey, where'd you go? Oh, there. Oh, by the way, this is just a simple scoring tool I made myself. Let me show you. These foam brushes have, when you take out that foam, that brush part, do I have one? No, it has a hole in there. I just stuck some pieces of wire in there, glued them down, and that's my scoring tool for small pieces like this. Oh, sorry. Scoring and slipping in a minute. There we go. And now, it's that shape. Hold on. Stick on there. I did not score and slip the coral because it's very soft, very wet. Oh, cracking. I'm going to connect this by just pushing a little bit of that clay into there. Clean up later. It sticks. I need something it won't stick to. There we go. I'm going to take away a little bit of that slip that is still there. It's soft enough. And then I'm going to take another tool. Doesn't really matter what you use, just what you're comfortable with. And I'm looking for a certain one, of course. That one. I'm going to use this one. And push a little bit of the coil up into the hat. I'm sorry, there's so much traffic coming by now, and I mean, today's Saturday, so it's not even that much. But they are working on the road a little further up, and that crossing is now closed. So this road has now become the detour. You should have been here yesterday. My word, big trucks, way more than usual. Oh, I see some slip sticking out there. Need to take that off. I don't want that there. Just, you know, it will crack and do nasty things. Get this pushed on his nose. Now I will go around one more time. Smooth it out a little bit. Or you can leave it if you like the effect. I have done that too. More cleanup later. I am going to try to make this brim look like it's fluffy, you know, like a Christmas hat. I'm going to have to find my stamp. Oh no, not my stamp, my piece of coral I use for that. Look, this piece of coral found on the beach here. And I'm going to use this side to make this part of the brim look fluffy. See what I mean? Now it looks like it's some kind of fur, right? In this case, I've decided to do some carving in this hat. Oh, my nose itches. So I want to get rid of this texture. So I will take a brush with water. Grab a little clay. Don't need much. Oh, I always need less than I think, which is good. Flatten it out. Can be a little bit thinner. It's an ornament, so I try to make it as thin as I can, or I think I can, to reduce the weight. I really need to compress this real quick. There we go. That's way too big, as you can see. Now, I am going to cut, hopefully, I'm going to cut out of my little slab that shape. I hope. Something like that. Yeah, look. Sort of kind of fits, can you see? Now I'm going to adjust these sides to the shape of that. It's guesstimating. This is not rocket science. Nope, still too big. Almost there. See, that sort of kind of fits. Now I'm going to put it up there and press against the edge here. Sorry, off camera again. take it off, and I'm going to cut along that ridge that is now there. It's still too big, but the rest will come as we go. Slowly but surely, you see. I'm going to cut it here, probably, and just about there. I want this round and not square. Okay, that side needs a little bit less. Ta-da-da. So this is how I am going to stick it on there. Oops. I leave a little room between the nose and the beard it's going to get, because I'm going to push that in, which will create volume as if it has a humongous thick beard, and I like that. A little bit still has to pop off here, I think. Yes. I'm going to mark up to where I want to score. Oh. And for this one, I will take the serrated rib. That's easier. Just the tips, because I can reach in there with this brush. So I'm putting it a little bit below the nose, pushing from the middle down and out. Oh, I could have made it even smaller. Too late now. Oh, where's my favorite tool? This one. This is my favorite one. I'm going to push this up in there and in here, under his nose. there. And here, because there's a little bit too much there. Right there too. I want it to look like it's coming from under his hat. Can you see what's happening here? Now this has volume. Taking it down a bit. And now I'm going to take that same, no, not the same one, a bigger one. This is also a rubber tipped. And I'm going to draw in lines so it looks like a beard. The middle goes sort of kind of straight down, and then I will go around a little bit. So this is now sort of a moustache and beard all in one. I sometimes flip it over. And where I think there's too much, I just take it out. These little burrs will come off when it's drier. And I have a little bit left from the attaching. I have a little bit here that I want to come. Well, you could leave it actually. I might leave it. Oh no, that makes it difficult with glazing, right? Does it? Knowing me, I will probably bump that edge against something and it will break. So, you know, I'm clumsy. So I'm taking that little bit off so I can later clean this up nicely. I will soften it. Now before I get to the decorating of the top, I'm going to put in my wire, and then I'm going to have to let it set up a little bit more before I will decorate it. So I use this at the moment. I have in the past used old elements, but my last elements were so brittle they just broke, so I couldn't. And now I'm looking for my pliers. There they are. I will cut off a piece of this. I will take the bead rod. This is what I usually, doesn't have to. I don't have to do this now, because when I fire these, I can put them on the shelf. If I have, like you've seen in my last video, a wind chime, where all those little things need to be fired on a bead rod, I do this. I fold it over and I twist it twice. And the last time, remember, I twisted it too tight, so that hole became very small and they barely fit on my bead rod. I will make this a little bit straighter. And ooh, be careful, it's soft. And I will stick it in his hat. Make sure it's straight. Oh, I'm not happy with where it sits. It's not good, but it can be fixed. I have a crack there. Oh, welcome to the joy of clay. It isn't always smooth going, people. Okay, again. A little bit more there. That's better. Is it straight? Yeah. And now I will just push the clay around my wire. It didn't come through on the bottom or on the inside, so that whole twisted piece is now in the clay and it will be stuck after firing. Okay, I'm going to let this set up a bit and then I'll come back for the decoration of the top part of the hat. While I was working on that girly gnome, this one is now a little bit more dried up and stiffer, leather hard, except for the beard that's still soft. I have to wait to take off all the crumbs. I'll do that later. I'm going to carve his hat. So I'm going to put on slip. This is my recipe. I'll show you the test tile that comes with it. 10% 6088. I'm going to, oh, I can do it like this. Put on my slip. And depending on the dryness of your clay and the thickness of the slip, I need 1 or 2 coats. This is, well, it is leather hard, but by no means near bone dry. If it were bone dry, it would absorb more. So I am probably going to need, I am going to have to lift it. I'm probably going to need 2 coats. Oops, no, that is going to stay white. Before I put on the second coat, I will let that dry, or else you'll just be moving this around again, which I already did with my fingers, of course. So let this dry, put the second layer on, let that dry, and then I'll do the carving. So I'll come back for that. After some more fiddling and clean up. Oh no, that's fine. Oh my word, I can't stop fussing. This is now what she looks like. Cleaned up all the sharp edges. I made her mouth a little bit wider, bigger. And she's going to get the same treatment as this one. 2 layers of red slip. And I will be carving her head as well. So finally, time for carving. My beloved Kemper. Is this Kemper? Yeah. Stylus tools. And I'm going to give him a pattern as if it is a knitted hat. Oh God, really? I keep fussing. I should not do that. And this is just, you know, whatever you want. You can go crazy if you want to. I'm first going to follow the shape. And again, this is, it's important to let your slip or underglaze, for that matter, dry well enough. If you don't, and you use a stylus, it will smear. If you use a sharper tool, you can have more luck in carving through wet slip or underglaze. But just let it really dry. I'm going to do a second band. You can of course first sketch it with a soft pencil. If I want to sketch first, I have a 6B pencil, which is extremely soft, so it hardly leaves marks in your clay and only leaves the graphite, and it will burn out. That's the first row. I'm going to make triangles now. Just because I want to. Now, do I want one more? Oh, I have to make a whole triangle. I want one more band, and I want one more at the top. Do I? Oh, messed up a little bit. I'm going to, if I still see it later and it irritates me, put some red slip in there again. More triangles. Okay, this is going to get loud. Crazy. Then I'm going to take another one of these with a bigger ball at the top, and I'm going to make little circles. Man, can you still hear him? God, every day. It's crazy. Just for fun, right? With a smaller one. Oh, where did he go? Oh, here. On the other side of the big one, there's a smaller one. I will repeat that. And there he is. Now the burrs from those circles, I think you can see, I wait with taking them. If they don't come off now, they will come off later. I really had to learn to start touching them because you mess it up. But yeah, there's the little guy. And now for our little girl. there you have it. That's how I make my Santa Gnomes. I have made some more, so I will show you. This one doesn't have a beard, but a mustache. I carved its hat, and this will get raspberry mist, probably. This one has a beard and has just a flat hat, and I don't know, I hope to find some glazing inspiration for that one. And this one has a flatter brim, so it even looks more like it's a knitted one. I like it very much. And this is a stroke and coat. It's the cinnamon stick, so it's a bit darker than the bright Christmas red. I didn't have any red, so I chose that one. And yeah, we're now going to have to wait until they're dried and fired. And of course I will show you the final results in one of the upcoming videos of a kiln opening. Yeah, time for me to say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched all the way through, oh my god, you deserve a star. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. I will try to answer them all. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Oh, one more very important thing. I have to thank Misty. Misty, thank you very much for becoming a member on my Ko-fi page. Mwah! I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Bye bye.